Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you can hear me well. So just to tell you that today someone gave me this as a gift. So I started to make my task, but writing and writing, I arrived until the last day of Capricorn. That's very Capricorn. so, so I have kind of the clue of everything during the whole month. So, work. I was working aside the Sphinx today, writing in the temple of the Sphinx. Today I'm gonna speak to you, my correspondent mirrors. So I don't know, maybe for the people that follows me from long time, this is normal, but for new ones, I must say that I usually had no idea what I'm saying. I mean, when I explain, I have no idea that I'm going to explain something and what I'm going to explain exactly. Because basically I'm learning also from what I say, from what my higher self say. It's in speaking. So so talking about reflection and the correspondence, I wouldn't be able to understand many of the things that I know if it wouldn't be because of you there. So me expressing it. So this is the correspondence. So maybe it seems that I am here teaching, but what I'm really doing is learning as I speak. So this is why there are some times that I get lost, like what I was saying, because sometimes I don't even pay attention to myself when I am speaking. so I cannot blame anyone if you are not paying attention, because sometimes I don't even pay attention to what I say. So let's begin with the topic for today, which is correspondence. So first of all, the law of correspondence. We could say that the law of correspondence is the second law, but in reality, we would say that is the first one, because the main law, which is the only one that exists in the whole universe, mentalism, is not kind of the first one, it's the one that holds all the rest. Inside the mentalism exist the other ones, like we can call these 6 other laws, from which the first one is the correspondence. So I don't know if you have written the Kybalion from Hermes Trismegistus, you say that? So the Kybalion where it explains the 7 laws of the universe. I don't know the order in which he explained that, but the way in which we are going to do it is according to the chakras. Okay, so the order we are going to the order of the laws will be related to the chakras for us. Also, just to understand the reason why we put this order of first law, second law, 1 through 3, 4, 5, and the laws, is because we as humans organize information from the beginning to the end. So we kind of organize like that. but it's not exactly like this. Okay, the way in which in which the universe creates. There is no one first or the beginning. There's no second, third on appearing. Basically, there's only one law, which is the mentalism, and inside of it we have different aspects that we call the principles of the universe. Okay, so those are the hermetic principles of the universe, but they kind of appear all at the same time because they are echoes of only one, which is the mentalism. Okay, so the reason why we organize them is because we are humans. That's the only reason, so we can understand them better. Yesterday I didn't talk about this, but just to understand who was the one that spoke and explained about this information. He was Hermes. Hermes is the god of communication, the messenger in the Greek mythology. Hermes is the one that was communicating between heaven and earth, between the gods and the earth, and also the earth was the gods. So he was the one understanding all the concepts of the divine in other levels and how to download it here into the matter. That would be Hermes. In Roman mythology, we call him Mercury. Mercury. And in Egyptian mythology, we call it Thoth. But the Egyptian wouldn't say Thoth. That was a misspelling of Greek people. The name was Jahuti. So Jahuti was the one that understood the laws of the universe, because he said that everything was created in principles of numbers. So he was a mathematician that understood that numbers were projected into geometry, so he became an architect to understand it. And also everything that exists, biology, is geometry. So that's why he also was the god of medicine. He was the first physician. So he understood how to heal through the music, through the numbers, through geometry, through building. So that's and he wrote the principles of how everything was created, and he called that the laws of the universe. So that's what we are talking about. He was the one that did the design to build the pyramids, for example. And of course, the concepts of the principles that he was teaching is the Hermetism. And that's why they created these schools that was only for a few people. So they were like closing these teachings for a few, and that's why they call it the Hermetic school, because it was closed, it was hermetic, because of Hermes. So we would say that the second principle of the Hermetism is the correspondence. So sometimes one of the questions would be why this is for just a few, okay, and it was close to the people. Well, in Atlantean times, education was open to everybody, but then we started to have these problems with the population, that they started to blame the priests and the priestesses to because they were connected with the gods, but there were problems in the earth, so to blame the priests and priestesses of if they are speaking with the gods, why do we have these problems? So they started to persecute the priestesses. So they started to emigrate and to migrate and to close the schools. So they were so they were killed. They were persecuted and trapped and killed in many cultures. So that's why they would hide themselves, and they would just make some public test, so they would see who was really with the aptitudes to go into those schools. So we could go to so they could go to these schools. So that's why after thousands of years they were persecuted, killed by many. Like, for example, the Christianism killed so many that thought differently in the Hermetic way of thinking. Islam too. Many of the main religions were persecuting them. So that's why they closed. That's why they closed everything. And we see now why they are so close, but of course they have been thousands of years trying to escape from being killed. Basically, these people used to. It doesn't matter the social level of the people that were studying. If they were poor, if they were rich, it doesn't matter. But there was a moment that in order to survive, they needed to be side by side with the rich people, like the kings, like in the republics, presidents, and so on. So they needed to have people with a lot of money so they could survive economically. So that's why they started to make these selective groups. Yeah. So one of the things that they also did, the reason why they were so closed to anybody, is because they were very focused on, we want to do this and teach this. So we are not going to waste energy with people that doesn't really care. So if you want to really do this, you will have to work for it. That's it. For example, the Hermetic people, the ones that are teaching all this, they sometimes they say, I don't want to waste my energy in people that they don't want to listen, or they say this should be free for everyone and so on. Because usually when you really want to do something, you have to work hard for it. And there's lots of people that don't want to waste their own energy on trying to reach people. They just want to bring their energy into what they have to teach to those people. So, and that's perfect, because they are taking care of their own energy. That's why they are taking, it's like the Hermetic people. They are taking care of it. They don't want to waste energy in other people that they don't want, that they are not, deeply connected with the teaching. So that's why they close it. They take the energy, like, this is a school, so you have to get inside the school with pre-inscription. You have to pay, okay, and that's just to take care of the energy. So it's perfect. It's perfect for the people that go straight to the point. For example, there is the chance, the thing that, for example, here I don't do that. I don't shout because my mission is another thing. It's not. I don't need to take care of my energy in this way because my goal is to do this. So it doesn't matter. But for example, I know that you are all here. Many of you, almost the same amount of people constantly all the time, because you're committed to do this. So you are here putting all the energy on doing this. So it's perfect. But for example, there are some times that I know that there's a lot of people watching that they don't want to listen or that they don't whatever. And sometimes there are some people coming that do bad comments or whatever because it's free, everyone can see, and some other people maybe just not respecting me or not respecting the people that are here listening, watching. So imagine that I would rather I would close this because I don't want to waste my energy in people that are just doing silly things around. I would do it on the campus and that's it, and you have to pay for it. That would be an option to close the energy and to take care of my energy. But I don't take care of my energy in this because I have other things to do. So I do it in another way. I mean, and this is my mission. So I don't care. So I don't care. I'm just doing this. So that's why I'm not hermetic in that way, maybe. So I'm to put the energy of the hermetic of the Capricorn, the month of Capricorn, and try to be a little bit hermetic in this, saying, let's focus during this month. Now, for example, if I say, I have a conflict with people that is taking me from my axis, and the people that is bothering me in my life or whatever, what I have to say is, if they are bothering me, it's because I have something inside that is not in my axis. So the outside is just showing me what I have inside. It's just the projection of what I call correspondence. This means that whatever is happening outside, and I am looking into that, and it's happening, it's being observed by my brain, by my eyes, feeling what is happening outside, is interpreted by my brain. So it's not really happening that, but my body, my brain, is focused and used to see only that thing because I am in the same symphony. So what I am perceiving from the outside is according to what my brain knows in the inside. Something that I read in another moment. Everything that we perceive the outside is related to the perception of how our brain receives the information. For example, touch, smell, taste, sight, eyes, ears, hearing. It's all are the senses that by electrical pulses brings the information through the nervous system to the brain, and the brain decodes that information to transform it into a perception. Okay, So everything that happens outside is not real. Everything that happens outside is just the perception that you have within in your brain. So for example, this, we see this pencil, this pen, and we see it like blue. But the reason why we see it blue is because we have been evolving in the same biological structure altogether through thousands of years. So we got used to see these kind of colors. But what happens if you are daltonic? If you see a different color, if you see this green, is it a lie? Because who tells that this is who tells that this is real? If something is seen by many people, it doesn't mean that it's real. Like, for example, religion or the sky. The sky, we say it's blue, but it's not blue. So this means that through evolution, through thousands of years, we have been used and evolving in order to perceive the reality in a way, but it doesn't mean that it's really like that. It means that we just evolved to see it or understand it in that way. So our brain structures itself in patterns of perception. So now, because of this pattern perception, now everything that we see in the world, we perceive it through the filters of these patterns. This is why everything that you see in the outside is not how the real world looks like. It's basically a projection of how you really are yourself. It's like a mirror of everything that you interpret within. As an example, this here, this pen, this pen is real. This is something that is important to understand, because usually we do this mistake that we say, we think about the correspondence like from the ego point of view. And the ego point of view is, okay, this pen doesn't exist only exists because of my inner perception. No, it's not that. The pen exists because it's atoms that exist all around in the universe. So they exist, they are organized. But the perception that I have, of the pencil, of the pen, is something that I have within. Like, the pencil is blue and it's used to write because I am used to write with a pen. But for example, a doctor maybe doesn't see this only as a pen, it sees as a tool to save someone in a tracheotomy or something like that, like throat, to save life. So so it's according to the perception that you got in life, how you see the things. Okay, that would be. So for example, with a relation with someone, with a person, when you have the relation with a person, maybe that person that is real, that exists, makes something to you that makes you feel bad, but that person had no idea that he makes you feel bad. It's just he did something, and suddenly you feel like very sad or mad with that person. But the reason why you feel that is inside of you. The emotion is within you. So we are perceiving that person with our own point of view of what makes us feel, not of what it is. The person is something, but we perceive that person according to what we think inside. And this is related to the main law of the universe. The law of correspondence is born because of the thinking, the mentalism. So everything that exists is because of the mind. And it means that everything is a projection of the mind. So that's why when you look into something, you are basically perceiving the things that you have within, not the things that not the things that that are really there. So that's why the people that is pessimist, they see the world in a they see the bad things of the world. The people that is positive, they see the good things of the world. So this base of the mentalism through the correspondence, starts to be spread in the whole reality, in the whole world, by fractalization. So that's why you might have heard about the idea of everything that is above, so below, everything that is inside, so outside, everything that is in the right, it's in the left, I don't know, in the microcosmos is in the macrocosmos, etc. So this conception, this idea of everything is corresponding to the other thing is because the universe was created by one thing that divided in two. So this one in polarity is corresponding to this one. So they start to make fractals all the time, and they start to divide and to replicate the shapes. So everything basically in this mathematics of the universe is a mirror to each other, so corresponds to each other. Everything corresponds to each other. So that's the base of everything, the correspondence. But it's because of the mind projecting itself. So the word correspondent, means that everything is corresponding, and that's the origin of the word is correspond. So the response of something, okay, like the answer. So this means that everything in the universe is answering, responding to something in common, correspond. Okay, so something in common that we all have. That's why everything that you do, you receive it exactly as a response, as an answer through the reflection of the universe. That's correspondence. See? It's an answer that is shared. So to have it more clear, is the I am who manifests the fractalization of all these responses. Yes, so correspondence which is these shared answers in the universe are created by the I am, and the ego, the self, is the one that interprets those answers. So it's not that me, the ego, creates this reality. It's the I am who creates all these realities, the answers, and it's the ego that has to interpret those answers. This is why we have the goal to understand better the answer. This is why the ego has the task to improve itself in the ways in which it interprets the answers that we all share. So I wrote a lot about this in the blog. So if you can, you read it. Let's go to the information for today. The vibration for today is LLae. The statement for today is I am the stair to consciousness. The code for today is the Christic plane. The word Christ comes from the Greek Christos, that means the sent one or the chosen one. This plane is the level of consciousness placed to the service. The same way as in the Buddhic that action is not taken, for it simply is. In the Christic action is, sorry, I will read it again. The same way as in the Buddhic that action is not taken, for it is simply to be. In the Christic action is taken, and it implies being at the service of the world's transformation and its healing. For that, this plane is of those who live an example for the livings, and guide them with the example through the heart and at the service for others and the universal order. I relax the body, sitting comfortable as I focus on my breathing. I take a moment to imagine that I am surrounded by a library. In this huge library, organized in the way that I need, with all its books organized in different halls. I become aware that this library represents all the registries of my inner self, and each book is a pattern that was recorded through the thousands of years of experiencing. As I walk through the halls of books, I become aware that all this library is built in my own subconscious. That registered the Akashic records of myself. And we recognize that each one of us is the only librarian from this library. It's only us who can find the right information within ourselves. So I made myself the question, what are my biggest projections, my biggest correspondence that I need to work with to heal? Take a deep breath and go through the books to find the one that within you have the answer. I take this book with my hands, this information, and without judging it, I go to the main hall where I find this big stair going to an enlightened office. I bring this book with me and I go towards the stairs. They represent my unconscious. And on the top, the office is the conscious. I go through these stairs to bring this book to the light of the consciousness, so I can make of it from a pattern to a tool that I can use for my own benefit. As I go up through the stairs, I resound, trying to think about what is this pattern of projections that I project in the world. Me acerco a la luz de la conciencia e ingreso a la oficina llevando claridad a este libro. Inspiro profundamente y con mis manos le llevo hacia mi tercer ojo. I reach the office of light of the consciousness, bringing all this light and clarity to this book, and with my both hands I bring it to my third eye. I am the stair to the consciousness. I am the stair to consciousness. I am the stair to consciousness. And I make this pattern that limits me in the correspondence into a tool for my service. I use. I use. I use. And now that I made this limitation, this pattern, into a tool of consciousness, I bring it all over my body to make it a part of me. Caressing and stretching. And each one at its own time, come back here and now. So this is how, for today, the task is to download and write what you have seen in that book. To write down the projections, the correspondence in the world, and make it and become aware of it. Thank you everybody for being there. See you tomorrow at the same time. And remember that for those who speak English and are part of the RCM Foundation, the 6th, in 3 days, we have our meeting for Karnak Temple. So see you there at 3 p.m. Egypt time. And of course, as always, at the same time, at the evening. Adios. Bye.